Hello everyone, welcome to Dada's FoodCrave Kitchen featuring cooking, beauty, lifestyle and more. In this video, I am going to show you how to make the most delicious Gambian meat pie. It's an inspired street food. It can also be made in parties. It can be made at home. I remember buying meat pie, fish pie in Gambian street, especially in primary school when we used to have lunchtime. I mean, memories, you can't forget memories. You can't forget that. So if you guys are interested in seeing how I make this most delicious Gambian inspired meat pie, please stay tuned and please follow the recipe step by step or add your own favorite seasoning into this recipe and you will be good to go. So without any further ado, if you are interested in seeing how to make Gambian meat pie, please stay tuned. And without any further ado, let's get cooking. Okay guys, I am using ground beef and I am using the lean ground beef that doesn't have a lot of fat in it because I will not have to strain all that fat out of the meat. So now I'm using half of a bell pepper. I'm using a green one and a yellow one. You can use any color of your choice. I'm using half of an onion and one bunch of green onions, which is the scallions. I'm also using green chili. Here I have 4.5 cups of all-purpose flour, salt to taste, thyme, coriander, black pepper, and red pepper flakes. These are all 1 tablespoon each with some garlic powder. Then I'm using 4 tablespoons of room temperature butter with 2 cups of water. I'm also gonna add mozzarella cheese on my meat pie. If you never try adding mozzarella cheese on your meat pie, please do so. If you do not like mozzarella cheese, you can add cheddar cheese. If you don't like cheese at all, you can just take that out, or you can just add some potatoes on your meat pie. My son likes when I add cheese on the meat pie and it tastes so good. It's a must try. So now in a pot, you are going to now chop all your onions, your peppers, put all the seasoning in the pot together along with the ground beef. As you can see, I chopped my scallions, which is the green onion. Now I'm chopping my onion. Then I'm gonna chop my half of a bell pepper, the yellow and the green. And then now you're gonna see I'm gonna add all my spices. Like the spice, depending on how much meat you're making, you can add as much spice as you want, as however you want your meat pie to taste. Add much spice as you want into your meat pie. If however you want your meat pie to taste, just add that much of an amount of spice in your meat pie. Then I chop my chilies and add it in there. If you don't have chilies, you can use like 1 habanero pepper or 1 scotch bonnet. So now I'm adding all my spices in there. I will also leave all the measurement, like I said, down in below the description box. Like I said, if I add 1 tablespoon, you can add less than that, or you can add the same amount of tablespoons that I'm using in this recipe. But like I said, however you want it, that's how you're gonna add the spice. Then I forgot to add my thyme, which I did there. I added my thyme. Now you are going to brown the beef until it's completely brown, until all that water oozes out and dried up. Then I decide to add some bay leaf to give the ground beef a nice aroma. So your best bet is to buy a meat that it's not full of a lot of fat. Then you won't have to strain no oil afterwards. If you happen to buy meat that has a lot of oil, just simply strain the oil out from the ground beef. Now after it's cooked, this is how it looks like. You're gonna make sure your meat is completely cold before you can add it on the dough. Don't add the meat hot when the dough is ready. Now I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of salt into the dry ingredients, which is the all-purpose flour. Then you're gonna mix it until it's well combined. Now I'm gonna add my 4 tablespoons of room temperature butter. So now you're not gonna be afraid to get in your hands in the dough and let it and get in and be like I said, just get in there and get ready to be dirty, but make sure your hands are clean while you're doing that. So now I'm gonna add water as needed. I'm gonna add bits of water until I reach my perfect consistency of the dough to get ready to make my meat pie. I end up using 2 cups of water along with the 4.5 cups of all-purpose flour. So you're gonna knead it, get in your hands in there and get it dirty, like I said, and knead your dough until you reach that perfect consistency. And like I said, I end up using all the water. So you're gonna knead it with your hands like so, and then you're gonna rub some oil and cover the dough. Let it rest for 20 to 25 minutes up to 30 minutes. Let it rest. And the reason why I'm adding a little bit of oil, because I don't want the dough to dry on top. So now I'm gonna let it rest for 20 to 25 minutes. So after 20 to 25 minutes, my dough rested a little bit. So now you're gonna add a little bit of flour on your work surface and continue kneading your dough until it reaches to that perfect consistency. If you find that the dough is a little too wet or too wet, you accidentally put too much water, no worries. Just keep adding flour on the dough and you will see that it will come up to a nice soft dough. And then when you finish kneading it, you will press it with your hand and it will bounce back to, you know, it will bounce back. You press it just like so I'm doing in the video. So now I am going to now cut my dough in little round balls, because the reason why I'm doing that, it gives me more control of how much meat pie I am going to make. So if you don't want to do it this way, you could do it the other way, where you could just roll the dough all at once and use a pot cover or a cookie cutter or any bowl that you can cut your dough with. I'll show you later on in the video. If you don't want to do it this method, like I said, every cut that I'm doing here tells me how much meat pie I am going to make. It gives me more control. Every cut right there, it's a meat pie. So if you don't want to do it that way, you can just do it the other way. So you could just knead it in and out, fold it like so, and then put it in a round ball shape, and this will get you ready to roll the dough with the pin, and you will know that's a meat pie right there. That is if you decide to cut it in round balls like this, because like I said, it gives me more control of how much I am going to make, and nothing will go to waste. As you can see, I'm now taking each ball and repeat the same steps and roll it into a round flat shape, and then I will get ready to now add my meat and my cheese. If you decide to add some potatoes, go ahead, but I'm telling you, adding cheese into your meat pie, it's a must try. It's so delicious. So now this is the other way. I made more dough because I had too much ground beef left, so I decided to make more mixture of the dough. This is the other method. If you don't want to do it in the round ball shape that I did, you could just use a pot cover or a bowl or a cookie cutter, whichever cutter you have to cut your dough. You could just do it that way, like so. And make sure your dough is not very, very thick. It's not too thick and it's not too thin, because if your dough is very thin, frying it and deep frying it in the oil is going to soak up a lot of oil, and you do not want that. And make sure your oil is hot enough to fry the meat pie. You don't want your oil to be not too hot. If it's not too hot, it will soak up all the oil. So now I am going to now add my meat and some cheese, y'all. Cheese, oh my god, it's a must try. You must try adding some cheese on your meat pie. You will tell me again. If you don't like mozzarella cheese, add cheddar cheese. You can add some potatoes. So as you can see, this is how I'm doing it. Now I am just gonna use a fork and press all the sides down. I usually like to press both sides. When I press the front, I turn it over and I press the back. This will give me more security knowing that the dough is completely sealed. And this time around, I did not add any water in the edges of the dough. I will show you the other method. You can just get some water and dip it in your finger and just put some water around the edges and seal the dough. I didn't have to do it because, like I said, that's the reason why I double seal it back and forth, front and back. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want me to make fish pie, I will come up with that video as well. I have a lot of requests coming up that I have to fulfill. I'm yet to make my egg scotch, the steam method. I'm yet to make some I have a lot of recipes that it's coming up for you guys, so stay tuned and make sure your notification bell is on, because before anybody else is notified, you will be the first to just know I just upload a new video. You'll be one of the first to know. So you're gonna repeat the same steps like so until all your dough is filled with fillings, and now you're gonna now start your frying and fry the dough, the meat pie. And make sure your oil is hot enough to fry the meat pie so that you don't soak up a lot of oil. And I also wanted to mention, every time I always forget, new upload is every Saturday, guys. So stay tuned. New upload is every Saturday. So I'm gonna try to upload every Saturday. That's when my schedule is to upload videos every Saturday. And voila, this is the meat pie, guys. Look how pretty. It's so yummy, it's so filling. You could only eat 2 and you will be so full because it's so filled with meat and cheese. It is so delicious. I hope you guys will try this recipe and leave your comment down below. If you are interested in me making any other dish like fish pie, let me know. So now I'm going to show you the inside, how it looks like. You will see all that cheese trying to escape. Look at that. It is so delicious, guys. Look at that. Look at that. Now you tell me that's not a delicious meat pie. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And like I said, if you're new, hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Dada's FoodCrave Kitchen. Dada's FoodCrave Kitchen. Dada's FoodCrave Kitchen. I'm